Hey, mathematicians. We're going to get ready with chapter 12. It's the last chapter of the year. We're going to be talking about surface areas of prisms and cylinders. Just a heads up, you will get the formulas on your assessment, so no need to worry about that. All right, so let's get cruising right away. So here's some vocabulary words for you. Just kind of what do these mean? You talked about them in 7th grade math. That was a long time ago, so I think it's good to refresh our memory. Lateral faces are all the faces along the sides. So if you think about it in terms of a box, it's the sides, the front, the back, and the sides. The lateral edges are the edges along the lateral faces. So if I was looking at this particular figure right down here, these would be my lateral edges. Okay. A base edge, those are the edges that go along the base. So that would be these in particular right here. Those would be your base edges. The altitude is the segment that joins the two bases, and it's always perpendicular. All right, the altitude is always perpendicular. Height is the length of the altitude. And the lateral area is the sum of all the areas on the lateral, the side faces, so not counting those two bases, okay? So the lateral area of a prism is basically the area of the base times well, okay, we could probably do it a different way. This is probably simpler. You take the perimeter of the base and you multiply it by the height. That's probably the easiest way to get it. So you take the perimeter, this whole distance around, whatever that is, and you multiply it by the height. And so in this case, it's a hexagonal prism. So each side is 5. There are 6 sides to that base, so that's 30. And then I'm going to multiply it by how tall it is, which is 12, not 24. Okay, so 360 centimeters squared. All right, 360 centimeters squared. So the lateral area of this regular octagonal prism, it's important to know that it's regular so we know all the sides are the same. Octagonal tells us how many sides. So it's going to be 3 times 8 sides of that base, and we're going to multiply it by the height. So 24 times 9 is going to give us 216 centimeters squared. So the lateral area does not include the bases. It is only like the soup label can kind of thing is what we're talking about. That's the lateral area. So the surface area for the prism is going to be, this is probably one of the better ones to use. It's going to be the perimeter of the base times the height plus double the area of the base. And so when I look at this, all right, and on this one, you know, your base could be, your base could be here and here. Your bases could be front and back. It's all, we've got options because it's a rectangular one. So I'm going to say that this and these are my bases, okay? So the perimeter of the base is going to be 24 times the height. That's going to give me the lateral surface area. Now what I'm going to do is add on the area of the bases, and there's 2 of them, and they're 6 squared, because a square, the area of a square is side times side. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. 12 times 24 is 288. 6 squared is 36 times 2 is 72. So the total surface area is going to be 360 centimeters squared. Okay. Now these formulas are going to be on your quizzes. I cannot interpret those for you. We're giving you the formula. You've got to make sure you know how to use that, because so those are good questions to ask in class if you're not really sure how we do it. All right, find the surface area of the triangular prism. So here are my bases. Okay. It doesn't tell me it's regular. So I can't assume that all of the sides are the same. So what I need to do is I need to figure out this length and this length. I've got myself a right triangle in there. So it's a 6, 8. I know that that has to be 10 because it's a Pythagorean triple. So now when I'm taking the perimeter of my base, so 10 plus 10 plus 12, my perimeter of my base is 32 times 10. And then I'm going to add twice the area of the base. Well, the area of the base is going to be 1/2 times 12 times 8. All right. And so when I multiply those out, I have 320 plus 96 is going to be 416 units squared. So total surface area is going to ask me to include the bases in my answer. Area of a cylinder. That's interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Area of a cylinder is going to be the same idea. The lateral surface area is going to be the perimeter of the surface area, which is the circumference. And so then you take that and you multiply it by the height. The total surface area is going to be the lateral surface area plus 2 pi r squared. Okay. And again, I'm not sure why it's doing this, but those are the formulas. So now when we want to find the lateral surface area of the cylinder, what we're going to do is the lateral area. So we're finding two different answers, one lateral, one surface. So the lateral area is going to be pi times diameter times the height. So then pi times 28 times the height, which is 18. So, oops, I have mine in math. I wanted in that one. I went in classic. There we go. All right. So then I'm going to take 2 times 14 to get the diameter. So 28 pi times 18. So my lateral area is going to be 28 times pi times 18 is going to be 1,583.36. That's my lateral area. Now my total surface area is going to be that plus 2 times the area of the circles, pi times 14 squared. So 14 squared times 2 times pi is going to be 1,231.50. I'm going to add those together. And I'm going, whoops, how did I get an error? There we go. And I'm going to get 2,814.86. So 2,814.86 feet squared. All right. So, the soup can is covered. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what's the radius of the soup can? Well, if the circumference is equal to 2 pi r or pi d, I can say that 15.7 is equal to 2 pi r. Divide both sides by 2. So 15.7 divided by 2 is going to be 7.85. So 15.7 is equal to 2 pi r. Divide by 2. So 7.85 is equal to pi r. Divide by pi. And we'll get our answer. So if I go in here and divide by pi, 2.50 is equal to the radius. All right, thanks for sticking with me throughout all these little issues that are coming on here. You now have time to work on your assignment. Thanks, kiddos. Have a good day.